Hello and good day. Welcome once again to our WordPress website development class. And in this class, we are going to be focusing quite on a whole lot of stuff. However, this very video is not a practical. The first phase of this video is just an introduction to website. Okay, so that's what we want to do now, an introduction to website. So you want to pay a very close attention as we go through the journey of explaining website, types of website, examples of websites, and then a few other things. Now lesson 2 is where we are going to be looking at how website works. Okay, so in this video as well, we're going to be talking about how website works and the things that makes a website work. However, in the phase 2 lesson 3, we are going to be talking about WordPress fundamental. Okay, so that is also going to be in this same video. Then in the next video, we now start to talk about how to create a live website, and then bring our website to life, and then begin to work on the dashboard environment, and then a few other things about that. So if you are ready for the class, I really implore that you pay a very close attention on the things I'm going to be explaining. Okay, so we say WordPress training, a comprehensive 6 weeks curriculum designed to transform beginner into professional. So the main aim of this my class is, I'm really very sorry for putting 16 weeks. This is supposed to be 6 weeks or even less. Okay, so basically within, let me just make it 2 weeks because or maybe like 4 weeks. Okay, so basically after this exposure now, you should be able to handle some project yourself. And what is going to make it like 4 weeks is you trying to do some stuff and then mastering some stuff and the rest of all the stuff, right? Okay, so I want to have this on my screen, and then so that you can be able to see where and what I am clicking. So at this moment now, what we want to do is to what you want to do now is to explain, WordPress. So it's introduction to a website. So what is a website? So I want to actually go to this place and then, um, you know, um, a website. Okay, what is a website? Let me just talk about that. So a website is a collection of connected web pages, a collection of connected web pages with text, images, and media under one web address. So this is basically, you already know what a website is. I'm just trying to fulfill all righteousness to explain that a website must contain a text, image, and it also should contain some other media, and then web addresses, and it should have information that it is passing out to people, or maybe a place where people can come and share a kind of information. Okay, that's basically what a website does. Okay, and then we are saying that what is a time. Okay, I'm going to try to lower my speed so that I can be able to communicate with you guys on a very you know f- low you know temperate, right? So we have a website over here that we call, but before then, um okay um okay, so we have a website here that I want to use to show us different website that it can have. We call it teamforest.com. Website building now is now very, 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 very easy, but you need to understand the fundamental. So why teaching, we teach you from the fundamental to to the intermediate, and then to the very easy one that you can actually use, so that by the time you are working with the very easy one, you will be able to understand what you actually want to do. So this basically is a website because of the industry has a lot of websites we are building on daily basis, and for that reason now we have website like teamforest.com and some .net and some other website that gives us already made templates that is going to make this thing work easier for us to do. So when you come to this place, then you're going to see WordPress. This WordPress environment, this particular website, Envato Market, sells a whole lot of stuff. They sell code, they sell video, they sell audio, they sell graphics, they sell photos, they sell 3D file. They sell quite a whole lot of stuff that can help you as a creative. But what they want to pay attention now is on WordPress, right? So in this place now, you can see popular things, blog, and the rest of them. So I want to come to here, and then I'll open this on a new platform. Then I'll come over to this place again. I'll open this on a new tab rather, and then I'll come over here. I'm just opening random places, and then I want to open um you know directory and listing. Okay, so these are different types of categories of website that they have here. These are templates they have already built that you can actually use, and then to build your own website. So I'm going to just open one of those. Remember, I said that this particular first video is not a video for you to practice anything here. It's just for you to understand the concept of what we are doing. Okay, so and then this one is another one. So I'm going to go ahead to and delete these, and then I'm going to have only these on my on this environment, and then what I just want to do here is to let you understand, how, because we are explaining something, we say that we are talking about introduction to website. So we are talking about, sorry, we are talking about types of websites, right? And examples of websites. So we have types of website. We have blogs, we have e-commerce, we have school website, we have church website, we have our portfolio. So at the end of this class, you should be able to know how to build all these kind of website for yourself and by yourself. Okay, so this is an example of school website. So I've clicked on this one, and then it's supposed to open a school website for me. This one is an example of a listing website, and then it's going to open a listing website for me. Now, this other one are different kind of news websites here. So I'm choosing one. It's going to open the one I choose, and then um, and ignore the rest, right? So because of network, I'm going to just focus on the ones that are already opened, and then I'm going to use it to teach you what we actually meant, right? Okay, so this one now is opening. This is a news website, and this news website can be built using WordPress. And when you look at global, all websites in the world where in news are being, you know, which word do I want to use now? On news platform or whatsoever. This is measuring how their destiny looks like. They have entertainment, they have celebrity, they have all of these things. So all these things can be built when you know your way in and way out in WordPress. The rest of these ones are yet to open up. I don't really know the reason for that. Let me just wait a. And here is one of the examples of numerous, education team that somebody can actually have. So you have all these pages in it, and then you have all these particular features that are about education in this website. And the fun, one good thing about this is that once you purchase this particular template, and then you know what to do with it. You can have this exact same result. As beautiful as this is, you can also have it in your website. So this is another one. I don't know if it's still opening. Okay, and then this one is still opening. However, I want to believe very shortly it's going to do that. But let me just go to over to this place. So this one is a listing website. So for what's it called, for hotels and the rest of those places that you need to find is to explore your city, explore you know uh, different things in this place. So listing has to do with the website that tells you available job and all the rest of those ones. That's the one we refer to as listing website. Okay, so in this particular video now, so our goal is for us to understand the different kinds of website one can actually build, and then types of website, the one we call blog. So blog has to do with blogs have to do with our news website. Okay, that's what we call blog. As for me, that is in Nigeria currently. I can search for something like maybe Nigerian newspapers. We have the Sun Nigerian News, right? And then I'm going to search for it, and then I'm going to click on this place. Then you're going to find out that this is the same way that their website is being um, you know um, is being built. This is the same way the website is being built. And one good thing about this is okay. Okay, so that is it. I'm just reading the news here. But however, we um are trying to let you understand what we mean by blog. Blog are website where news are pasted every now and then. Then we have the one we call e-commerce. E-commerce has to do with website where we go to buy some stuff, right? So like we have the what's it called again? The Conga. Okay, I think Conga.com, that's the name, right? If I'm correct. So Conga, we have the Conga, and these websites, they um, are e-commerce website because we go there to purchase products, we go there to buy things that we want, and the rest of that. So, and then we also have the one we refer to as the school website that I've shown you. Then we have the church website and the rest of that. So, and using having done this now, I've been able to show you examples of some of these websites, right? I've been able to show you. So sorry, examples of some of those websites. Now, let's talk about how the website works now. So this is going to be the you know how the website works. Now, this is something you want to really pay attention to because it's going to be a very very important exposition that you want to pay a very close attention to. Number one is that every website must have a domain name. Every website must have a domain name. So just like when I was about searching for Conga, I typed Conga here. Okay, so every website must have a domain name. So a domain name we have here, like in Nigeria now, you have another website that is called um what's it called now? We have GG, right? If I want to see product on that website, there is no way I should, I gg.com. I think they have changed it to gg.ng or something like that. Okay, so I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm correct. Okay, you find out now. I wanted to access Nigerian GG company, but you find out that because I missed something here, it's not taking me to another website, maybe a Chinese website or a Japanese website, right? So, but that was just because I missed something. So, what do I miss? Let me just put NG here, and then it's going to direct me to a Nigerian company. Okay, so basically, what are we trying to say? Every website must have a domain name, just like every human being have a name. So this is the company I wanted to access before. This is gg.ng, but the one I clicked on the other time was gg.com, and it took me to another company, right? Okay, so every website must have a domain name because is that the only thing that a customer needs so that it can be able to access that website is the name of that particular website. Otherwise, it will take you to another website. Let's take for instance that I want to browse, Facebook, and since I'm in Nigeria currently, and then I want to browse Facebook, instead of putting .com, I now put .xyz, for instance. So sorry, I now put dot X, Y, and Z. Okay, you find out that it is not you did not provide a complete web address or specific address. So basically is it is okay, so sorry. because what I got was not what I was expecting to get. Okay, XYZ, X, Y, and Z. Okay, it's still brother the same thing because this is not the domain for Facebook. However, if I write the original one, it is going to direct me to the Facebook real account. No, so after a domain name, you cannot just buy a domain name and keep it, right, or maybe get a domain name. The next thing you need is a hosting. Every child came from one a house. That's what we call hosting. So your domain name, which is your domain name, which is your name given to you by your parents. So every child comes from a hosting, right? Every child comes from a home. So the domain is the name of this particular child, and the hosting is the home of that child. So I can decide to buy a website name in America and host it in Nigerian company or something of that nature. That's basically what we are trying to say here. Then the next one is a DNS, the domain name server. Now you need a domain name server. Now the first thing now is for you to determine, okay, I need to build a website. Okay, let me write something on my notepad over here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to first of all say, okay, I need to build a website. The name of my website is going to be my website name, my website name, okay, name dot com or whatsoever, okay, or dot ng or dot whatsoever. I'm going to explain. So dot com simply means commerce, okay, dot com means commerce. Then .ng means Nigeria, right? Nigeria. Then we have .org means organization. So the website you want to build determine organization, right? The your client determines .b stands for business, and then many other extensions. So we call all these things domain extensions. So if you should, in case you want to extension, right? So in case you want to do further studies and know the rest of them, then the next one you have is .government. .gov stands for government, right? And the rest of them. So basically, the reason for which you need to know these things is because the what kind of website you want to build determines the name you're going to buy. If you're building a website for the government and you're using .com, it's not going to be approved. People are going to look at this as a scam. If you are building in a word for a church and then you call it .com, people are not also going to accept it. If you are building for a business and then you call it .org, people are not going to accept it or whatsoever. So if you are building for government and there are some extensions that when you are building with, you need a certain kind of certification so that you can be able to build that particular kind of website. And then another one we have is Edu. Especially in Nigeria where I am, you cannot build an education website except you provide, a lot of documents from the school. Not like a lot. Sometimes the school document are proving you as a developer to build for them, and then some other things in crossing. So basically, having said this now, you have gotten your domain name and then you know that you need a hosting. The next thing is that you need a domain name server, a company that is going to carry it. Then you need a browser such as Google, Chrome, and Firefox, and the rest of them. And then you need a web server and the rest of that. So in our next video, I'm going to educate you on this web server, DNS, and then every other thing you need to know. So let me see you in that video. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Bye bye for now. Thank you so much.